Hello, hello, hello. I'm back. This time I can see the chat. Hey, friends. If you're here watching this replay, thank you so much. I had to reboot because the other window wouldn't let me see the live chat. So glad to be here with you today, my friends. If you're here live, please say hello. I can see the chat now. Sorry, friends. So, hey, Sue, there you are, my friend. I can see you now. Had some technical difficulties, so thank you for being patient with me. Hey, Lady Leo. Good to see you. I'm trying to get comfortable and situated here. Hey, EJ, how are you guys? Right? How are you guys today, right? Let's start there. How are we doing? How are things? Hey, Sharon, upstate New York. We got UK here. Where are you, Lady Leo? Somewhere on the East Coast. EJ, somewhere in the middle. And me here on the West. Sharon, you're on the East. Hey, Lady Leo, we miss you too. Oh, EJ, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, my friend. Thumbs down. Not doing so well today. Myrtle Beach. Woohoo! Looks like you're having a good time. Looks like you're having a good time. I'm looking forward to a little road trip. I'm heading out to Arizona next week. Now that I've been immunized and my mom, I'm going to go see her before she heads on to Iceland for a few months. So I'm looking forward to it. Having a blast. Good. Excellent. Of course you are. Of course you are. Wherever you are, Lady Leo, there's the party. Actually, I was just thinking there's a few of you here that are so much fun. Actually, all of you. I've partied with all of you. What am I saying? I haven't partied with EJ, but I've seen how she parties. So I know she would be a blast. Hey, Elizabeth, I was watching Eurovision too. We made it. We made it into the next round. Ooh, Lady Leo, and no live streams from the karaoke? Hey, Rob, good to see you, friend. I didn't see you were here. You probably were, and then I kicked everybody out. So we had a little bit of drama with the Icelandic band at Eurovision. They were all excited to sing live, and then one of the band members got COVID or tested positive, and so they wouldn't let him sing on stage. So, but I was super excited that I found a way to watch it. So I watched only through until Iceland was done. Then I was like, I can't do anymore. I had work to do. But I'm going to watch this weekend. Super excited. Thanks, Rob. Good to be with you all here. Good to be with everyone. So are we ready for the topic of the day? Right? Are we ready? We're going to talk about our feelings. Had geese and their babies chasing you? Yeah, I saw that. There you go, Elizabeth. There you go. I've seen some terrible songs from Iceland as well. It's just like, oh my God. But right, you just gotta get behind your country. So some of the most fun parties that I have gone to as an adult have been Eurovision parties in Iceland. For a while there, I used to plan my trips to Iceland around Eurovision because it's a party, as you guys know who are into Eurovision. Costumes, You name it. You name it. So anyone else have comments on the topic of the day? I posted it in our Facebook group. If feelings could talk, I'm going to read this out. Let me know if this resonates. And then we're going to dig a little bit into emotions and why it's hard for us when we have trauma in our childhood, right? Feelings, period, not okay, not safe, no role models, no support in expressing the truth. And feelings are about what's here, right? So for a lot of us, we put a lid on it and just close that tight. So let me know if any of this resonates. If feelings could talk, right? Sadness might be telling me I need to cry. Anyone else recognize that when they feel sadness? Maybe, right? Yep. That for me was a big one. And also realizing I had a lot of things that I was sad about. And once I kind of put those dots together, it was okay to cry, because for me in the beginning, to cry was, I was weak, right? It was vulnerable. I was going to get hurt if I showed my tears. So yeah. The other one here, loneliness might be telling me I need connection, right? I think this is a biggie for all of us. I'm probably going to say that for all of them. So I'm just saying that up front. Shame might telling me I need self-compassion. And I have some quotes here about shame that I want to share with you guys. Because that's a biggie, right? Yep, there it is, a biggie. Resentment might be telling me I need to forgive. I need to forgive. And this is not about forgiving others. This is about, for me, forgiveness is about self-acceptance. So emptiness might be telling me I need to do something creative, right? I can always remember, and I think I've told you this, you guys, this story probably a few times, when I had a mentor of mine point out that, Svava, you are very creative. Like, you think creatively about healing. And I was like, no, you're full of it. Nah, no. And so she really planted a seed that, yeah, actually, right? I was creative, relentlessly creative. So anger might be telling me I need to check with my boundaries, right? What happens when we say no and someone doesn't listen, right? Outrage, anger. Anxiety might be telling me I need to breathe. Breathe. Stress might be telling me I need to take it one step at a time. So I'm going to take a look here, see what you guys say. Sue, can't bear to watch Eurovision. It's not choir singing, Sue. It's, yeah, you just gotta roll with it. Thank you. All right. Hey, Donna, good to know you're here. Both of those were big and scary for me, says Lady Leo. Okay, Lady Leo, I wasn't. So they all resonate. Okay. Check, right? Exactly. Thank you, Sue, for saying that, for noticing and acknowledging, because it's helpful to recognize you're not alone. You are not alone. So is there any in particular, right, that you struggle with? Anything in particular when it comes to our emotions that you struggle with? Is it identifying them? Right? Any thoughts? What is it about emotions that you struggle with? Thoughts? This is interactive today, you guys. What is it about feelings that you struggle with? Is it to be aware of them, to acknowledge them? Is it listening to them? Is it, right, the awareness and the acceptance part, or is it feeling? If you could choose one. Awareness and acceptance, listening, right? It's like, no, 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 no. Acknowledging them. I often talk about befriending them, make friends with them, or is it actually the processing of them? What's your challenge? Having them, says EJ. Sharon, identifying them and feeling them. Rob, apathy about them. Yes, Rob, I hear you. We all loved Will Ferrell's, Eurovision movie. It was amazing. Lady Leo says, working on forgiveness of self and had a huge new perspective today. My therapist asked if I could see how taking care of myself was a part of self-forgiving, changing how I look at, relate to food. Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Beautiful. Lady Leo. Beautiful. I'm sitting with that one. That was powerful. Love it. Yeah. Sue here says, when they are just too big. Yeah. What the heck do we do when they're just so big, right? They just swallow us up. We are just like gently, okay, I'm going to get to know this emotion here. Hello, friend. I'm a little scared of you. And then they just whoop, swallow us up. Whew. All of the above, says EJ. Feeling the feeling is always tiring. Yes. Anyone else? Feeling the feelings is like, it's like a train wreck. Right? Thank you for saying that, Elizabeth. It is. It is. And it's kind of interesting though. Sometimes it's like, well, was it actually feeling the feeling that was tiring or exhausting? Or was it that the energy that I noticed that once I released it, I realized how tired I was because I've been working so hard at repressing it, right? It's like once we open up for it, because the emotion is just, right, energy in motion. But we are like working so hard for a good reason, right? To not feel it. Irritated, yes, irritated is an easy leap. I get like that, and then I get angry for being irritated. Yes, thank you, Rob. Who else here gets irritated with themselves for having feelings? Acceptance and acknowledgement is difficult. Yes, Rob. Definitely exhausting, maybe both. Exactly, Sue. Yes, it is. It is. Thank you, Lady Leo. Thank you. Thank you. So as we can see, there's a lot of moving parts, right? It's like, okay, we're just going to have our feelings. What? Oh, what did you say? Have a what? Right? So let's walk through the process of having our feelings, right? And I can still remember, I was just thinking about earlier today that I know, and some of you may remember that one time when I was knee deep in having my feelings, I came live into our Facebook group, and because I wanted to be transparent about what it looks like to have our feelings, right? To actually be in the middle of processing some hard emotions, but maybe just model what's possible before, because many moons ago for me, um, to show up so vulnerable and kind of raw, like snot and all, tears. I was just like, okay, they're gonna think I'm I've lost it now. But I was like, no, this is what healing looks like, right? And I know for me, for so many years, I didn't dare to go there because I didn't know what it even looked like to risk being vulnerable and to share. Like this is me hurting. This is my heart like really aching, and my tears are like, this is my truth. And I'm sharing it with you guys because you're safe and I trust you. Because I again realized for so many of us, I didn't see any good role models, right? And it was hard for me to bring that kind of authentic expression of in the moment emotion into all my relationships because I was a stone wall. So I had to learn to open up, right? Practice. This is what I'm feeling, and I'm going to risk being honest about it and express it, to the person that's here with me, so we can, right, co-regulate, because that is how we, for so many of us survivors, we didn't have someone that held us when we got hurt, that right our wrongs with kindness and compassion and acknowledged our hurt and said, of course this hurts, of course you're sad, of course you're upset, right? So much of the healing journey is for us, right, to learn how to do that. And I know you guys know I'm a big fan of Dr. Margaret Paul's inner bonding work, inner child work, and where we learn to reparent ourselves. And as we reparent ourselves, we learn to hold space for a lot of the parts that are inside of us that are the parts that hold these big feelings, right? We make it okay for them to bring that truth to us. What we learn in co-regulation with our therapist, with our coach, with our peers, in our groups, right? And when we're having dialogue about hard things, we back and forth. Okay, so this is what it looks like to have to acknowledge the hurt. This is what it feels like to talk about it with a safe person. Because for most of us, right, growing up, what did our bodies and our nervous systems do? It was not okay to be expressing the truth, expressing our honest feelings, right? Maybe even for some of us, our safety depended on, like, nope. And then disconnecting from our bodies, it actually, right, working with our nervous system and our bodies, helping to become aware and learn to self-regulate as we recognize, whew, there is a big feeling coming. What do I need? Before it triggers us into overwhelm, because when we go into overwhelm, we tap into shut down, right? Yes, Rob. Reparenting. I love that too. Love reparenting because the antidote, like I said earlier, to shame and to us judging ourselves for actually having feelings, right, is kindness and self-compassion. But for so many of us, again, as the feeling comes up, we are uncertain what's happening. This doesn't feel safe in the body. I don't know how to process, right? Then we try to control it and repress it because we don't have the trust that the emotion, like an ocean wave, it peaks and then it comes back down. Lady Leo says, my environment told me you were weak, and in my community, showing a weakness made you a victim. Yep, I hear you. Anyone else? I know you're not alone, my friend. No, you're not alone. I'm going to follow up what you shared here, Lady Leo, with a quote from Beverly Engel. I don't know, some of you may remember I interviewed her on one of the summits that I did. Actually, I think her interview is on this channel. You may have to dig deep, or search for Beverly Engel. Her quote from her book, when others learn we were helpless, we feel vulnerable and exposed. Right? When we tell someone, yeah, I was abused, right? When we tell someone that we were helpless, we feel exposed. We are vulnerable. Thank you, guys. Yes, Elizabeth. Yes. Yes, thank you, Rob. And so as a result of that, it's easier. Yes, and then we blame ourselves, right, for being vulnerable or having been abused, because it's easier to feel guilty rather than the shame of helplessness. You guys catch that? Right? Many of us associate helplessness, right? Lady Leo, like you said there, if you were a victim, right? People would like, what's wrong with you? Like the victim blaming, right? When others learn we were helpless, we feel exposed. We blame ourselves because it's easier to feel guilt rather than shame of helplessness. So, right? It's tricky. It is. It is. I really appreciate her work. She has a really good book. I'm re-listening to it right now, and I know some people that are reading it. Beverly Engel has some really good books about shame and, of course, self-compassion. So I had mentioned earlier that we were going to talk about, I think my Wi-Fi is a little choppy here, guys. So let me know if I'm losing you. So how to feel your feelings. How to feel your feelings. I'm trying to navigate multiple screens here. Are you ready? How to feel our feelings? And I'm saying let's take an easy one and maybe use some of our tools. Tapping, this is one of my favorite, going back and forth. If you notice you're feeling anxious, just being here, listening in this space. Right? Step one, an unpleasant feeling arises. Our feelings come from our bodies. They don't start here. Our feelings come from our bodies. An unpleasant feeling arises. What happens? Your mind launches into whatever inner story accompanies this feeling. So, I don't know about you. Most of my feelings were accompanied by you're stupid, you're broken. Some of the quotes in here, I'm lovable, I'm a loser, right? These are some of the examples. And then there is a big note, right? Stop. Right? We are thinking our feelings, right? The minute our story picks up. So we need to redirect our mind away from the thoughts and back to the sensation in our body. And mentally name them, right? Name what you are sensing in your body. Right? I've brought up a couple of times, like interoception, right? Becoming aware of the sensations in our bodies. Because when we know of what the feeling and the sensations is in our body, we feel more grounded. Like, how do we ground ourselves? I often use, notice what you see, what you hear, what you smell, right? These are certain things that in this moment you can hold on to those things. Right? I know that is red. I know that leaf is green. I hear you, Elizabeth. I hear you. And that's the challenge, right? People don't move a finger to deal with their emotions in a mature way. Exactly. We can't control other people. We can only, work on how we are going to respond to other people. And when we work on ourselves, and like Lady Leo said so beautifully, her awareness is that through taking care of myself, right? Becoming aware of how I feel, changing, right? The perspective about myself, how I relate to myself, the better I take care of myself, and the better I know how I feel. I start to respect and appreciate me. The easier it gets to set boundaries with those people who dump on us. Then we get to say, I don't even speak to myself that way anymore, right? So part of it is, right, catching our mind, and we've talked about it here. All right, we need to write down those crazy thoughts that kind of show up here on autopilot. Right? I know where they came from. It's in the past, but in the moment right now, this is causing me to feel, right, butterflies in my chest or my solar plexus, my diaphragm, where we hold a lot of tension or my stomach is in a knot. Right? Come back to the body. Come back to the body. How's the body feeling? And breathe into the feeling, the sensation in the body, right? Because if it's a contraction or tension in the body, right, the more we hold on to it, then the message is up to the mind again, right? This is unpleasant, something is wrong. And we start going into what's wrong here instead of, okay, I'm having an interesting sensation. I'm going to breathe into it. I'm going to do some tapping. Breathe into the feeling, the sensation, and allow it, right? Name it. This is sadness. This feels like something that's triggering some shame, or this is resentment. And then, your mind will really want to go back into the thought story mode. And when that happens, come back into your body. Come back to the body. Keeping a hand on our heart and one on our belly. Breathe deeply into your body, because a stressed body is contracted body. A soft body is a relaxed body, and a soft and relaxed body, right? There's energy and motion going up to the mind. Okay, we're cool. Her shoulders are down. Her shoulders are back and open. There's even a smile on her face. We're good. Yeah, maybe some butterflies, but no need to turn the alarm on. We can still stay here, supervising, interacting, engaging, noticing what's happening. What do you guys think? I got my assistant here, Roxy. Sounds easy enough, right? I know. But just like I said, behind all of that, but these steps, I know there's a lot of moving parts. Awesome, Elizabeth, I hear you. So anybody here want to share what is your go-to to learn how to relax? What is your go-to for relaxing? I got my one hand here on the puppy dog before she starts to whine and complain. Where are you, girl? What's your favorite way to relax, my friends? Lately, my favorite is doodling, doing art, listening to music, going for walks, hot showers. Anybody else want to share? What is your favorite way to relax? Roxy likes pets. Rob says, I spend a lot of time inactive, but relaxed is often elusive. Yep. I often find there's not the time to do all those steps. I hear you. Going for a walk. Thank you, Sue. Yep. And of course, I mean, these steps are something, that they're helpful when we are, maybe working on getting in touch with our emotions. But after a while, it becomes more fluid, right? For me, on my healing, my brain worked better knowing, okay, I do this step and then this step and then this step, right? And trusting the process. I needed a recipe. Don't just tell me to trust the process unless you can explain the process, right? I think I've told you guys how many times on my healing journey I was so furious when people would say, oh, you just need to go do that. I'm like, okay, that's not helpful. How does that, right? What are the steps? What does it look like? Is there a video? Is there a book that I can follow? And if someone knows how to do it, someone must know how to teach it, right? And again, when I shared earlier, my motivation to be vulnerable with you guys when I was sharing in the group literally showed up sobbing just to model for you guys. This is what it looks like to have your feelings. I've had the most success with being in the moment whilst I'm awake walking, by photographing and identifying the wildflowers that are abundant at the present. Yes, Rob, excellent. Me too. For years, I used to take a lot of photos, and I still do. Actually, I was thinking if we're going to be doing in our group this summer to move our bodies some more, I was thinking be ready for the flower photos. So Rob says, I think I confuse happy content with relaxed. So, but that's for you to decide, right? You can be happy, content, and relaxed. To me, those things go along. They're related. Inactive but unable to relax. Yes. And I can share, you guys know that I'm teaching the TRE classes regularly. And what's interesting with people coming in to learn how to activate, right? The part of our nervous system that wants to release stress and tension. Once we feel safe enough to do that, right? It's hard to do when you're in fight or freeze. We need to kind of come down a little bit in a safe, co-regulated environment to relax enough to let the body tremor. But it's fascinating. All these people that I'm working with right now is that they come in and they want to learn how to shake and tremor. But I keep telling them the relaxing and resting is just as important as the active part of tremoring. So literally for so many of us, because we're so in fight, flight, or we're habitually moving, taking action, doing something. And a lot of it is also because we're uncomfortable with just being here in our bodies in this place, taking, time away, just quiet, not doing anything for maybe 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, just be you and your breath, right? It's hard to slow things down. So very often what I'm, like I said, seeing is that people are literally, we have to retrain ourselves to what does it look like and feel like to relax. And I certainly can relate to that because I lived disconnected, disassociated from my body in the frozen state for a very, very long time. And once I understood why, it made sense, right? And then showed myself kindness and self-compassion because it made a lot of sense. It was not safe to be in my body because in my body were all these unpleasant feelings that I had no idea how to express. So just a couple of points here about compassion. This comes from Dr. Margaret Paul, because I think compassion is such a powerful tool for us to process some hard emotions. So she writes here, she says, my definition of compassion is a feeling of kindness, caring, tenderness, and gentleness. Most of us have that kind of experience towards others, but not so much towards ourselves. Yes, I hear you, Sue. Exactly. Yep, it does feel strange. Exactly. So challenge that, right? So she goes on here, what if when you are aware of your wounded feelings, your anxiety, your depression, anger, guilt, and shame, that you choose to feel kindness and gentleness towards the feelings? This is what I was talking about earlier. So often we are, you know, we reject our own feelings, right? We are frustrated that we are feeling. We feel guilty or angry that we're having feelings. And the thing is, in her language, right? When we move into inner bonding or to inner child work, right? We are choosing to support ourselves in feeling those feelings, because so much of us rejecting our feelings and our truth is really us abandoning ourselves, right? We are telling ourselves and treating ourselves poorly. We are rejecting our own truth. And like I've said, in some cases, it felt like for me, like I was picking up where other people had hurt me in the past. So, what if, when you're aware of your wounded feelings, right? She says, what if, when you're aware of your wounded feelings, you ignore them, you move into judgment towards them, and you blot them out with addictions or make someone else responsible for them? And then it's likely that you will end up feeling even worse, right? From that compounding of the self abandonment. So, what if, when we are aware of our core feelings, our sadness, the sorrow, the heartache, the heartbreak, and the grief over that helplessness, right? And the helplessness over others, instead of avoiding these feelings with various addictions and other forms of self abandonment, we embrace them with caring tenderness, gentleness, and kindness, right? All that towards yourself. When you make this choice, rather than getting stuck in your due to avoid them with your various protections. So, moving into compassion for yourself, choosing to be kind, caring, tender, and gentle, right? And why is this such a good practice, right? Your body understands touch, your body understands warmth. Our ventral vagal, part of our nervous system that helps us to reconnect to our bodies and to others, it's all here, right? When we activate the caring part of our nervous system, then we are getting, right, the oxytocin, the hormones online that actually help to heal reverse some of the damage that the stress hormones have done with our nervous system. And right, moving into compassion for yourself, choosing to be kind and caring and tender and gentle is the key to being loving to yourself. And it's the key to moving out of being a victim of your addictions and of others' choices, and into your personal power and emotional freedom. When you make the conscious choice to be kind, caring, and gentle with yourself and others, your heart opens. Then compassion, which is a gift from spirit, gift of, right, comes into your heart. And this is the choice to be kind and caring that opens your heart to the power of compassion. So, are we ready to choose to be kind and gentle with yourself? I hear you, Lady Leo. And that's it. We are all work in progress, right? We are all work in progress. So our learning to get in touch with our feelings, right, is getting in touch with our bodies, is to understand it's just information. It's the messenger. Something needs your attention, right? And I understand being afraid of them. So then we need someone to co-regulate, to sit with us, to support us, to be with us. Until we learn to have that exchange with ourselves, between ourselves as a parent to our inner child. And then we learn to have that between ourselves and other people in our lives. Yes. Yes. I hear you, Rob. Yes, exactly. Exactly. Yep. Yep. Any thoughts, comments, questions? Right? To be gentle with ourselves every step of the way, right? Your body is always, always, always doing the best it can. It doesn't ask you permission. It intervenes if it doesn't feel right that we need to be safe. It's going to overrule everything else. And so for us who did not feel very safe for a long time and live in bodies and nervous system that are doing that fight, flight dance where our emotions live, right? Each time we tap into that, we're building capacity. We are building capacity. And each time that you become more and more aware of the sensations of your bodies, like how do I feel? What are the sensations here, right? What's happening here, right? We build on what our body needs. Am I hungry or am I anxious? Right? Am I depressed or do I need sleep? Right? Be curious about the body's signals, because the more we are aware and can connect to our body signals, the more we trust ourselves. Right? I know what it feels like when I'm hungry. I didn't for a long time. I disconnected and I would like, why am I lightheaded? Oh, I haven't eaten all day. Body signals about hunger, no, wasn't registering. Now I'm very clear when I'm hungry. Speaking of, I'm ready for dinner. My stomach just checked in. And now I also know what love feels like, right? I didn't. And that caused me a lot of sadness, a lot of grief. And I know I'm not alone. But that's what I set out to find. I know I'm here to learn about love. And I'm going to do whatever it takes. I hear you, Lady Leo. Good. Yes. I look in the mirror and say, hey, baby girl, I got you. I see you. I actually see you now. No one else can come to our rescue and help us with these feelings. Only we can. Yes, we can do it with safe people, right? That can hold safe space for us, that can see us, and really listen, really validate. I hear you. This is hard. This is a difficult feeling. Rob, Better off just being serene with the knowledge rather than trying to make others wake up to the serenity that a little effort will reward them. Yeah, I hear you. Well, you pick your battles, my friend, okay? Pick your battles. But the best way to empower people, what do they say? What's the best way to empower people? Any thoughts? And the most important part of learning to feel our feelings and move through shame, especially shame, that for so many of us, we carry a lot of shame, right? The more we express our feelings, the more we know who we are. The more we are learning to accept ourselves. Exactly, Sue. Exactly. By example. Yes. So, Rob, just be so serene that people can't help but want to know what the heck you're doing. Hey, Rob, what are you on? I want some of that. You're being silly. I know you. I know you. All right, sweet friends. It's as always been delightful to be here with you. It is going to be weird to not be here with you guys regularly, but you know me. I'll find a way for us to be together. Like I said, I will have some Zoom groups going on. So if you want to join, please let me know. But and also continue to share the Journey to the Heart audiobooks. So if you like the truths, like the ones that we've talked about today, information that I've learned on my healing journey that I share in the audiobook, a little bit every day, then please check it out. And the card of the day, there you go, Elizabeth. Beautiful. Self-care, reparenting, and self-compassion. Yep. That sounds about the daily task for us. And why? Is it a burden? No. We don't do it in resentment or that it's a burden. We do it because we are worth it, and we are worthy of the time and care and attention. So let's go plant some gardens this summer through self-care, through moving your bodies, feeling your feelings. One day, he or she decided to plant a garden of her own. With that, thank you so much for hanging out. As always, have a beautiful weekend, beautiful summer. Do something that sparks joy, and I will see you when I see you. Thank you. Yes, I'm looking forward to my road trip next week. I'm sure I'll share pictures. You guys know me. Thank you, friends. And if this conversation was supportive to you, please give me a thumbs up here on YouTube. It helps the videos reach more people. And as you know, that's my big mission. So thanks, friends. Take good care. Sorry again for the little technical challenge here earlier, but you guys roll with it like always. Much love to you all. Take care, friends. Bye now.